Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan Battle video. So we got a little bit of an interesting tidbit here coming out of the data download, right? Just basically some information relating to Dokan Frontier. There's actually another tweet I could pull up too that where we can go over more information, right? But there is going to be a lot of Dokan Frontier stuff being added with this update, as we can see. But if we look here, looks like the next set of Dokan Frontier nodes and missions added in this data download will be spread out throughout the next 3 weeks. So April 14th, 4 nodes drop tomorrow. So I was going to do Dokan Frontier as a stream, but if it's just 4 nodes, I'll probably just knock that out, likely as a video then. So we have 4 nodes on April 14th, we have 5 nodes on April 24th, and then we have 3 nodes on May 5th. Now, that stretches well into Golden Week. So when that last batch drops, we already will be well into Golden Week. Now, I don't think that this means, like, because these are going to drop during Golden Week, like, NAMEK is going to be Golden Week. I wouldn't really mind if it was, but this seems like it's more likely that we'd be landing on one of the bigger celebrations potentially after Golden Week. And there is, I think what is a major celebration coming right up, like, soon after Golden Week. So the 14th is tomorrow. 24th is next Friday. I wonder, like, if there's anything else next week. Like, there might not be very much next week in the lead up to Golden Week. It would not surprise me. So, like, the start of next week might be very dry, but we'll see. The celebration overall has been strong. So the 24th and then the 5th, yeah, they skipped this week right here because this is the Golden Week celebration is definitely going to start on this week. I think the 27th is the day I'm targeting as to when I would expect the Golden Week characters to release, right? They could be LRs. I saw players talking about the possibility that Golden Week characters could be LRs because they're doing the missions quickly. They're dropping these missions right here, which they often do before some of these like big celebrations or big celebrations with like LRs. It's this one, right? Yeah. So they added all of the Dokkan event medal missions. I mean, I think it's good for them to consistently do this. I think it'll be good to allow players to get like kind of like a stockpile medals for either old characters that they've not pulled or not awakened that they can easier, or for future characters, right? There is a lot of these medals. These are good missions, right? I know it's helped like Iron Cane a lot as he's awakening old characters. So this is what we got. So here's what my thoughts were, right? So now I think that end of NAMEK Saga, because like I remember the problem with Dokkan Frontier is that they started with NAMEK Saga, right? And it's even as we see like these kind of like cool sticker effects for a lot of these NAMEK Saga characters, like it's like, man, shouldn't they have waited until they have fleshed out more of the roster of NAMEK? Feels like that might have been a better idea, right? But I mean, whatever. So I think that like we could maybe see the finale, Goku and Frieza, and it could be with the release of like new major LRs. I think it'd be really cool to see. And we do need a Goku and Frieza. People are excited for NAMEK right now. TDC is where I think we could see the drop be, which would be probably about June 30th. So if you remember, Geppy and Amatsu came on, and they talked about how the schedule was confusing, and due to player feedback, they're changing it back to the way it was. Me, like, reading between the lines on that, it's Japanese players were saying that. which means I think that like they're gonna format things exactly the way the old JP Dokkan schedule used to be. That's the way I kind of interpreted that entire thing, which then would mean I think TDC again would be somewhere on like June 30th, and it probably will just take on the full structure of the Tanabata celebration. I think like what really I think the best outcome was what they did last year. I thought like the way they had the celebrations line up was great last year. Some of the celebrations were stinkers, of course, but I thought like the like where GDC was, where TDC was, all that. I thought that was good, but I guess the Japanese players didn't vibe with it, so they're gonna switch it to what the old JP schedule was like. So TDC though would be probably, presumably, a Dokkan Fest LR and a Carnival LR, right? So that would be probably like if it was Namek, Namek Super Saiyan Goku as the opener, and then Carnival Frieza, probably Final Form Frieza, towards the end of the celebration. I know people would say, oh, but Frieza could be the Dokkan Fest. I mean, neither of them need a Dokkan Fest, by the way. They're really just like big LRs, like big new versions of the characters. But both already have Dokkan Fests, right? I mean, maybe you could say, like, I guess they could. I don't. See, they probably wouldn't even give Final Form Frieza his own Dokkan event. It probably would just be a stage added to the current Frieza Dokkan event, by the way. Like, if we just look at this and we go, it's growth. It's what, Emperor of the Universe or something? Yeah, Evil Emperor of the Universe. I bet you it would just straight up be a stage 4 to this, even if it was, like, just Final Form Frieza. So, yeah, there's that. I think probably TDCA. Maybe some people would say, oh, they're going to drop during Golden Week, so Golden Week must be Namek. I mean, I guess that's not impossible. But remember, they were dropping Dokkan Frontier stages during the Buu Saga celebration with LR Majin Vegeta. I'm hoping that they can line up the end of Dokkan Frontier, right? And I'm sure, remember, those fights will probably be very tough with new Grand Namek Saga characters. I think that would be the best way to really breathe life and excitement into Dokkan Frontier is not to use fucking 7-year-old characters in there, right? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm nuts. I definitely am. But I think, like, oh my god, new Dokkan Fest LR, Namek Super Saiyan Goku is going to carry me through the end of Dokkan Frontier. Like, I don't know, just seems like something Dokkan would do, and a good idea. So, we'll see how that would go. Alright, so we have that. Let's kind of go through. So, we got some of the cards with the new stickers. Prime Metal Frieza, AJ on Nail, Tech Piccolo, Third Form Frieza, and Ginyu. I saw some of these here. So, here's a little bit of, like, Ginyus. Okay. Here's also Ginyu right there. Sure. Here's Nail. Okay. And then there is a Third Form Frieza right there. So we got a bunch of these kind of like that are going to be in the data. I do enjoy these quite a bit. I think that these are really fun, right? Those type of new animations. Okay, so we have the Krillin. So remember, this is the Krillin that's going to be fighting Second Form Frieza. And, oh, yeah, I was going to pull up the Proton data download thread. Here's the global one. I assume he's just got it set up the same way, though. But the Dokan Frontier stuff is what I'm looking for. Yeah, here we go. 2 new pages, 12 battles, 27 new node-related passives, skins, dialogues, right? So we could see here that it is going up to Goku and Final Form Frieza, at least, like, I don't know, like, intersecting or whatever, right? I don't know, maybe, like, base Goku versus Final Form Frieza is kind of like the last node that we would do on May 5th, but I'm gonna assume, based off of this, that that's where it ends, with Goku versus Final Form Frieza. Now, I did tell you guys this, when I, like, played kind of like the beta version of Dokkan Frontier at the Community Fest. We were doing a Final Form Frieza fight. It was the Namek Spirit Bomb Goku, right? This guy right here. I've got the Namek category pulled up. This guy. when we beat the stage, this guy's Spirit Bomb animation played, and this guy had one of those special stickers, by the way. I thought he had the best looking one. It was this art too. It wasn't the transformed art. I'm sure his will look very good as well, but it was this Goku art that had the best looking of the new, like, kind of like special sticker effects. This guy had the best looking one, right? And it was a page of like all Final Form Frieza fights. Like, it was like a bunch of Final Form Frieza fights in a row. And like, I could see it, right? Like, Goku versus Final Form Frieza, then Goku versus Final Form Frieza again, and then they do like a Piccolo versus Final Form Frieza, or like something like that, right? Leading into that last one where you drop the Spirit Bomb on him. So there is still quite a bit to go, and the fact that this guy's special sticker is not in there, this Namek Goku, goes to show that it's probably not going to go very far past like Goku first arriving on the battlefield, right? And, you know, declaring he's going to beat Frieza. So that'll be cool to see. Yeah, we got the Krillin, who will be for the second form Frieza part. Remember that this guy is going to be getting an LR. Does this have the... Okay. Curious if I had the survival passives up yet. This guy is going to be getting an LR right here, but it's not in the data yet. I guess here's the thing. It's not impossible that, like, Goku gets an LR with this batch, but there's still like several weeks until it finishes. So maybe this Goku, because I also don't think that this Goku here is like is gonna be like Super Saiyan Goku or anything like that. Like, I felt like this Goku was just gonna be the Ginyu Force fight. I've made this point before, but this animation is really good. This is still just going to be his 12 key super attack animation for sure, the LR. This looks really good. So I would think that the like LR, the 18 key version, and potentially like his active skill is probably going to be what he did against Captain Ginyu. Probably. And then maybe it could tie into the start of the fight with Final Form Frieza. But like that's sort of what I'm expecting. So we'll see how this is going to plan out, but it just, again, it just feels to me, here, we can hit back right here. It just feels to me like ending Dokkan Frontier with either GDC or TDC, or maybe they do Golden Week. I think a dual Dokkan Fest LRs for Golden Week, and it's Namek, would probably go over very well. So I'd be totally down with that, right? And remember, this year, I would like Dokkan to continue to spam out OG Dragon Ball, Saiyan Saga, Namek Saga, Android SL Saga, Buu Saga. Basically, anything non-Dragon Ball Super. I would like Dokkan to get into Dragon Ball Super once the remake is actually dropping. I think that's the smartest thing that we could do there. So, let me know what you guys think. But I do... My 6th or even my 7th sense is telling me Namek's coming up. Yep. It is. It's coming. It's coming. I'm thinking right now TDC. I could see it. Big Namek TDC with the finale of Namek Saga Dokkan Frontier there. Makes a ton of sense to me. So let me know what you guys think, but we might be seeing this boy in-game sooner rather than later. And remember, they could straight up super easy A this guy, too. And by the way, remember, there was never any... since I said that, there was never any hints or nothing that this guy was going to super easy A at the Community Fest. Because I remember that was... I opened up Twitter and people were like, oh, Namek Goku super easy A. And I was like, bro, I'm here. That was not said, stated, implied, nothing. That's not a thing. But maybe they could just go way far forward and super easy A him when they do that. Also to increase the strength of the roster for the end of Namek Saga Dokkan Frontier, which again I think will probably be quite, because like the Ginyu fight was tricky for a lot of people, and it's like that's like. I mean, halfway through the arc, or less, depending upon how many fights against Frieza we do, right? So, it's probably going to get really tricky. I mean, they need to give us some Namek buffs for the end of it. So we'll see how it's going to go. Let me know what you guys think, when you would like to see Namek, and I'll catch you guys next time.